Welcome to Mr. Evil, the most terrifying corner on YouTube, where secrets and unsolved cases hide in the dark. Here we dive into the world of puzzles and brutal murders and bloody crimes, where we reveal the most horrifying cases and the latest investigations without leaving any terrifying details undiscovered. Get ready for the journey through the most evil aspects of our world, where deadly secrets await to be revealed. Subscribe now and join us in uncovering the secrets hidden in the dark, and don't miss a moment of this terrifying journey through the shadows. Scary story. What if you woke up one day and found yourself in a dark and twisted world where nothing is as it seems, where your worst nightmares come to life and your only hope is to escape before it's too late? This is the story of Alex, a young journalist who stumbled upon a terrifying secret that changed his life forever. A secret that involves a mysterious cult, a sinister experiment, and a deadly conspiracy. A secret that cost him his sanity, his freedom, and his life. Alex had always been curious about the abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. He had heard rumors that it was haunted by the ghosts of its former owners, who had died in a mysterious fire decades ago. He had also heard that it was the headquarters of a cult that performed dark rituals and sacrifices in the basement. He didn't believe any of these stories, of course. He was a rational and skeptical person who only trusted facts and evidence. He was also a journalist who was always looking for a good story to write. That's why he decided to explore the mansion one night, armed with his camera, his flashlight, and his recorder. He wanted to see for himself what was inside and maybe find some clues to the truth behind the legends. He thought it would be an easy and exciting adventure, but he was wrong. He had no idea what horrors awaited him in the dark. He parked his car near the gate and climbed over the fence. He walked through the overgrown garden and reached the front door. He tried to open it, but it was locked. He looked around and saw a window that was slightly open. He decided to climb through it and enter the mansion. He found himself in a dusty and dimly lit hallway with paintings and portraits hanging on the walls. He felt a chill run down his spine as he sensed a presence watching him. He shook off the feeling and turned on his flashlight. He started to explore the rooms, looking for anything or unusual. He saw a library filled with old and dusty books. He saw a dining room with a long table and chairs. He saw a living room with a fireplace and a sofa. He saw a kitchen with a stove and a fridge. He saw a bathroom with a tub and a sink. He saw a bedroom with a bed and a closet. He saw nothing that caught his attention or aroused his suspicion. He was starting to get bored and disappointed. He wondered if he had wasted his time. He decided to check the basement, hoping to find something more interesting there. He went back to the hallway and looked for the stairs that led to the lower level. He found them at the end of the hall and descended them cautiously. He reached the basement door and opened it. He was greeted by a blast of cold air and a foul smell. He shone his flashlight around and gasped. He saw a large and dark room with a concrete floor and metal walls. He saw a huge pentagram painted on the ground with candles and skulls around it. He saw a wooden altar in the center, stained with blood. He saw a cage in the corner with a human skeleton inside. He saw a table with various tools and instruments, such as knives, hammers, needles, and syringes. He saw a monitor and a camera connected to a computer and a hard drive. He saw a door with a sign that read, "Do not enter." He felt a surge of fear and curiosity. He realized that he had found something big, something that could make him famous. He also realized that he had found something dangerous, something that could get him killed. He wondered what to do next. Should he leave and call the police, or should he stay and investigate further? He decided to stay and investigate further. He was a journalist, after all. He had a duty to report the truth, no matter the risk. He also had a personal interest in the story, as he wanted to know more about the cult and their activities. He thought he could handle whatever he might find, and that he could escape if things got too risky. He was wrong. He approached the table and examined the tools and instruments. He saw that they were covered with blood and flesh, and that they looked like they had been used recently. He felt a wave of nausea and disgust. He wondered who had been tortured and killed with these devices, and why. He wondered if they had been members of the cult, or innocent victims. He wondered if they had been alive or dead. He moved on to the monitor and the camera and turned them on. He saw that they were recording the room and that they had a live feed. He saw himself on the screen, looking around the basement. He felt a pang of paranoia and anxiety. He wondered who was watching him and what they wanted. He wondered if they knew he was there and if they were planning to do something to him. He wondered if they were in the mansion or somewhere else. He switched to the hard drive and browsed through the files. He saw that they were labeled with dates and names, and that they contained videos and photos. He opened one of the files and played the video. He wished he hadn't. He saw a young woman tied to the altar, screaming and crying. He saw a man wearing a hooded robe, holding a knife. He saw the man cut the woman's throat and collect her blood in a bowl. He saw the man chant some words and drink the blood. He saw the woman stop screaming and die. He saw the man smile and turn to the camera. He saw the man's face and recognized him. He was David, his boss and editor at the newspaper. He was the leader of the cult. Alex felt a shock of horror and disbelief. He couldn't believe what he had just seen and what he had just learned. He couldn't believe that David, his boss and editor, was the leader of a cult that killed people in the basement of an abandoned mansion. He couldn't believe that he had been working for a murderer and a madman. He couldn't believe that he had been betrayed and exposed. He quickly turned off the monitor and the camera and grabbed his camera, his flashlight, and his recorder. He decided to leave the basement and the mansion as fast as he could. He wanted to get out of there and call the police. He wanted to expose David and his cult to the world. He wanted to bring them to justice and end their reign of terror. He wanted to save himself and others from their evil. He ran to the basement door and opened it. He ran up the stairs and reached the hallway. He ran to the window and climbed through it. He ran to the gate and climbed over it. He ran to his car and got in. He started the engine and drove away. He thought he had escaped, but he was wrong. As he drove through the dark and deserted road, he noticed a pair of headlights behind him. He looked at his rearview mirror and saw a black SUV following him. He recognized the vehicle and the driver. It was David and his cult. They had seen him, and they were after him. He felt a surge of panic and adrenaline. He stepped on the gas and tried to lose them. He turned left and right and sped up and down. He hoped to find a police station or a crowded place or a safe haven. He hoped to survive and to tell his story. But his hopes were dashed as he saw the SUV catch up with him. He saw David roll down his window and point a gun at him. He heard a loud bang and felt a sharp pain in his chest. He saw blood spurt out of his wound and stain his shirt. He saw his vision blur and his consciousness fade. He saw his car swerve and crash into a tree. He saw his life end. He never got to expose David and his cult to the world. He never got to bring them to justice and end their reign of terror. He never got to save himself and others from their evil. He became their latest victim and their darkest secret. Thank you for joining us for this spine-tingling story. We hope you found it both thrilling and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed this video, please consider participating in our channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing it with your friends. Your support goes a long way in helping us create more engaging content for you. Goodbye, and may you always tread carefully in the world of the unknown. Thank you for joining us for this spine-tingling story. We hope you found it both thrilling and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed this video, please consider participating in our channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing it with your friends. Your support goes a long way in helping us create more engaging content for you. Goodbye, and may you always tread carefully in the world of the unknown.